Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, where we'll be talking about liberal education, specifically by Ashoka University. As you know, the session is being hosted by the Dream Catchers, and I know some of you already know me, but there are quite a few people who don't know me, so I'll just start with a short intro of myself. I am Surbhi Kumar, and I am the founder and chief mentor at the Dream Catchers. With that, let me also tell you a little bit about our organization and how we can help and assist students. So, we are an education consulting firm and we are based out of Mumbai. We have a mission to assist students in realizing their dream of obtaining quality and best fit education. Now, you would wonder, how do we do that? So, for grade 9th and grade 10th students, as you would agree that the immediate need is that they select the right stream or subject combination for their higher grades. And for grade 11th and 12th, it's primarily they are able to shortlist the right courses which might be best aligned to them and also preparing the college list. So, what do we really do for this segment or this service for our student is something which is called as a psychometric assessment test. So, we start with that, and it's a quantitative test if given in the right spirit and right way by the student, then they can really uncover lot of things about themselves, but primarily three dimensions, which is they would get to know their potential or their aptitude. They would get an understanding of their work interest area and to an extent their personality traits. Now, on the basis of these three dimensions, a detailed career fitment report gets generated which gives insight to the student in terms of the broad 10 career clusters best aligned to them. But keep in mind that this is just a starting point and it is just a report. But we utilize that report and kind of incorporate a method of elimination as well as a method of selection, wherein we also give the student a lot of research material to read and make an informed decision. Okay, and that is also happening through our individualized and personalized counseling, where we get into conversation with the student and also with the family wherever needed. Now, we also provide a detailed action plan and also info around the career or educational pathways which might be best suited to them or for their specific course or educational pathway per se. That was around students from grade 8 to 12 who are looking for stream and subject selection or course and college selection. But we also provide our services in higher education admission guidance space, covering both overseas and Indian universities. Now, if we talk about services in that vertical itself, we help the student with their profile assessment, building, and elevation in the most natural way, keeping in mind their natural strength, which can be elevated further. Okay. Now, we also help in the course shortlisting, be it for overseas universities or be it for Indian universities. When it comes to study abroad or overseas universities, we also help them in the country shortlisting as well. The most important aspect is I know like there are a lot of rankings available and that is sometimes our first go-to point, but we help the student really decide what could be the best college for them, right? Besides just keeping ranking as the factor, because there are multiple other things to keep in mind. Now, we also feel that if their recommender needs some kind of guidance, right? We are there to provide that guidance to them because at times that is something which may help the student case to an extent. Okay. We also provide guidance to the student in terms of putting together their statement of purpose, how to really answer different essay prompts, and even helping them interpret those essay prompts as such. Wherever needed, we also provide scholarship guidance because that becomes a very important element, keeping in mind the finances or the financial aspects of education or higher education these days. We help them out with interview preparation as well. And if they are planning to study abroad, definitely visa guidance too. So I just wanted to give some context around like what are our services and why we are trying to even educate or host these webinars, because we feel that there is a need for students and families to hear straight from the horse's mouth and get the most authentic admission insights. With that, let's move on to our session. And I would like to actually start with a warm up quiz. So I hope you can see a statement on your screen and you can put a response either in the Q&A box or in the chat box, and I will be getting that. So the statement is liberal education should be pursued only if you are a student of either humanities or arts. What do you think? Is it a correct statement or is it an incorrect statement? Okay, I am seeing few responses tickling in. Okay. Okay. Mhm. So in the interest of time, I'll just ask you to like pause here because except one person, which is Sayukta, all of you have actually mentioned that it is an incorrect statement. And I'm pretty sure with the conversation which we are going to have with Harshita from Ashoka University, you will get much more clarity around it. But actually, it's an incorrect statement. Okay, so it's a perception which is there in the mind of majority of students and even families as well. Okay. With that, I would also want to give an insight to the audience here that how does the future of job or future of work look like? What are the skills which are most important or which are considered most important for graduates in the job market? So what you see on your screen right now is a snippet from a World Economic Forum report, which was Future of Jobs report 2023. That is the last year. Now, if you see the top 10 skills, right, I just want to bring attention to some of the skills which are not subject oriented or field oriented, right? So the question here is how we as student we craft our education journey so that we build these skills. Okay, so that's the question which we need to get answers to. Okay, now I would also want the audience here, and I do see few parents as well who have joined us today, that just I'm just putting two questions for you to ponder and reflect upon. When the student or when you for your child, you are thinking of a higher education pathway, and we have like majority of high school students here. When we say higher education pathway, what I mean is the undergraduate courses. What factors should be taken into account, right? What are the important factors? And the second question which I want all of you to think is possessing only subject matter knowledge or core skills in your field of interest or expertise, is that enough in this fast changing world? Okay, so this is something again, no one will have immediate answers to it, but I'm pretty sure the session which we are going to have right now may provide you some food for thought that how a liberal education can really be incorporated in your education journey, which can help you build certain skills which are needed to thrive in your career as such. With that, I am pretty excited to introduce Harshita, who is from Ashoka University. Hi, Harshita. Good morning.
Hello, hi, good morning.
How are you, Harshita?
I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, doing pretty well. So, as I mentioned, I do see parents as well as students today. So, I will let you take the floor and please do the introduction of the university as well as yourself for our audience, and then we will begin with the fireside chat.
All right. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to speak today. And my name is Harshita. I am the deputy manager at Ashoka, and I look at the entire outreach team. So basically, how many of us? Is it a two-side conversation or just a one-end conversation?
So the questions is something which will come in the chat. And yes, that's a
Okay.
good point which you mentioned. Actually, All of you can put your questions in the chat and Q&A. And if you want to go live with the questions, you can just raise your hand and I will set it up for you.
Okay, all right. So basically, if you guys know about Ashoka, we are a 10 years old university now. We are based out in Sonipat, Haryana, which is 60 kilometers from Delhi. And we are a fully residential university. Every student who comes to study at Ashoka for an undergraduate program has to stay in at the university for all 4 years. Also, when I say we are kind of a pioneers in liberal education, because we started liberal education 10 years ago. A lot of students come up just in the conversation, the quiz that you had presented just now. There was a student who said that the statement might be correct, and a lot of students, while we engage with students and parents, come up to us and say that, oh, liberal education, I think this is only for the arts and commerce students. No, this is a study of natural sciences, social sciences, humanities, and we offer subjects for each and everyone. So basically, any student after grade 12 coming from any state, any state board, any kind of say curriculum, state board, IB, Cambridge can actually apply to Ashoka CBSE. Any student from any stream also, say from there, from the sciences, PCM, PCB, commerce, can actually apply to Ashoka. So I think we can start off. We have a quick overview of what exactly Ashoka is. And while we have a detailed conversation 101 about the questions, I'll be able to guide everyone in terms of what courses do we offer, what exactly is the admission process, and what exactly we have in for you guys today. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Harshita. So I'll begin with the first question of our fireside chat. So can you help our students understand the concept and philosophy behind liberal education and how does it benefit students? What linkages does it have with the industry or job readiness?
Okay. So basically, when I say liberal, the word liberal comes from a Greek word called freedom. Now, every student, our traditional education system doesn't provide this liberalness to the student. So basically, our traditional education system works on a criteria wherein in grade 9th, 10th, you'll have to pick up a subject which I think a lot of students might not be unsure of what exactly your interest area is. So when I was in school back then, I also had to pick up a stream and it was very confusing for me because I kind of liked few subjects in sciences, but then I also liked few subjects. Say I like eco, but I also like a subject in science which is physics. But I also say I'm interested into political science. Now I don't have the liberty at school level and the curriculums right now. Specifically now, ICSE, Cambridge, and IB curriculums have that opportunity of getting into liberal courses, but CBSE still doesn't have, and you'll have to pick up a course. When I say liberal education, here you have the freedom to choose what you want to study, irrespective of whatever you have opted in grade 9th or 10th. Liberal education kinds of gives you an opportunity at university level again to go ahead and choose what your passion, what your interest might be. Also, it is all about developing well-rounded individual. When I say this, people who are curious, creative, adaptable. Also, it allows student to explore different disciplines, think critically, and connect ideas in an innovative way. This kind of education kind of prepares students not just for job but also for life in a rapidly changing environment. Nowadays, we see that a lot of opportunities at corporate level doesn't really includes just your specialization. You will have to master one subject, which is it. But then you'll have to have basic knowledge of each and every subject to interact with the individual on a daily basis. So that is what liberal education offers and why this is the new age education. When we say a lot of big brands, say if everyone knows Mark Zuckerberg, but
Mhm.
nobody knows that what kind of education that he has. He has been to a liberal education college. All the good founders that we see today, all the kind of people who are making up big businesses are or do have a background of liberal education somewhere, because they have knowledge of slight knowledge of each and every subject, and then they are master in one subject is what the entire idea is.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Harshita. So, just to add on to what you said, the way when my students actually hear about liberal education as a concept from me for the very first time, just to simplify things for them, I tell them to imagine the alphabet T. Okay. So, the horizontal line are more around like foundational skills which you can build from this curriculum, and the vertical line is the specialization which you can choose for yourself.
Yeah. So this kind of an education system allows you to have breadth and depth. When we say breadth,
Exactly.
it gives you the breadth of all the foundation courses, and depth of one specific course, which is again what you're talking about, a T-shaped model
Yeah.
is what they offer. Also, the focus is, I think, now a lot on critical thinking, problem solving, skills like these. And liberal education is all about these skills. So, not just Ashoka, but then a lot of universities now provide liberal education, and now students have the opportunities to get a hang of these skills, because these are skills which are important in the 21st century now. Coming
Absolutely.
Yeah, the world is revolving, the opportunities are evolving, and then these are skills which are mandatory for each and every student, irrespective of you are from sciences, you are from commerce, humanities.
True. So I think with what you said, it might be a good segue for us to post our next question to you. How can a student decide whether liberal education and Ashoka University are the right fit for them? And particularly, what students should consider when shortlisting a liberal education institute in India? Because, as you rightly said, there are other institutes as well who have come up with the same liberal education curriculum per se.
Right. So, if you are someone who say enjoys asking big questions, thinking out of the box, and exploring multiple subjects, then liberal education could be a perfect fit for you. This is what I say to every student when choosing an institute. Look for one that encourages curiosity, offers
Mhm.
academic freedom, and has a community of like-minded students. And at Ashoka, we emphasize on intellectual exploration and flexibility so that you can shape your academic journey while being supported by a brilliant community. So, what sets Ashoka unique is that you have an option to explore before you choose. When I say you have the option to explore, while you apply to Ashoka, you don't have to give us an indicative in terms of what subjects you will be going in with. So basically, in our application form, we don't ask you for a subject. It's just a tentative indicative that we take from a student in terms of what their likings could be. But when you are at Ashoka, this is a 4 year program. The first 1.5 years is an exploration phase. When I say an exploration phase, the student has the complete liberty to go sit in an eco class, go sit in a bio class, go sit in a psychology, sociology, anthropology, all sort of classes, and then probably after the third semester, take up a decision that I want to take up, say, economics as my major and political science as my minor. So, no university other than us offers an opportunity to attend a class, sit in, say, 5 classes of eco, and then probably understand. Because I see a lot of students taking up subjects but just because their friends are taking up the same subject, right? And
True.
when you take up that subject, you sit in a class and then you realize, oh, this isn't something for me. I might be interested in, say, psychology. Economics is not something for me. Economics, my parents say that study economics, study sciences, but I'm interested in psychology. I might be interested in, say, English as a subject. I want to take up. Many students at Ashoka end up taking English as a major.
Mhm.
So you have the liberty to design your own curriculum. You want to study, say, just one subject, you take up one pure major. You want to study 5 subjects, you take one pure major and 5 minors. So you actually tailor-made design your own curriculum at Ashoka. That's how flexible, and we say when we say we are liberal, that's how much of liberalism we have for the students as well.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much for that, Harshita. And I've already received one question from Aarti. Maybe I'll
Okay.
take it right away before we move to further questions from my side itself. So she's asking, you mentioned foundational skills. I don't understand what are those.
So basically, Aarti, uh, we have foundation courses. Now, when I say foundational skills, you need to have slight knowledge of all of the subjects and then you master one subject. When I talk about foundation courses, we have 9 foundation courses which are designed in a way so that you get to know breadth of all the subjects. When I say foundation courses, we have introduction to critical thinking. We want you to think very critically because when you work in a corporate environment, there will be problems which might be not of your genre, but then you'll have to think critically and resolve those problems. We have a foundation course which is mind and behavior. Now, a lot of students say us, why do I study mind and behavior? I am from sciences. I don't want to study mind and behavior psychology. But then on a daily basis, irrespective of whichever field you go into, you'll have to deal with people, human beings, right? And if I am talking to you, you need to understand that if am I able to understand what exactly you are trying to say me? So basically, mind and behavior is a foundation course which is mandatory for every student to take up. There is principle of sciences. Now, a lot of arts and commerce students will come up and say that why do I study principle of sciences as a foundation course, which is a mandatory course for every student coming down to Ashoka. The reason is that because on a daily basis we interact with a lot of objects in life, right? Right now I am on a video call. I am dealing with sound, voice, friction, everything. So while we are into the real world and while we are into the corporate world or while we are into a startup, a business, anything per se, you need to have an all-rounded, a holistic kind of a personality to understand everything and then probably roll out a decision or roll out a solution to a given problem. So that is why foundational skills are very important for each and every student. Understand it very basically. When I say we were in say nursery, we went through A, B, C, D. That was the foundation of understanding words, alphabets, numbers, k, kh, g, gh. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to form sentences, form shorter words. So the basic foundation has to be set so that we are ready to take off then. That is the reason foundation courses are so important, I think.
I hope, Aarti, that answers your question. And if you have a follow up, let me know. Just raise your hand and I'll put it on the spot itself. Okay. Next question is, because again majority of the participants here are students itself, so we would want to know what kind of campus life is there at Ashoka for undergraduate students particularly.
Okay. So I think everyone was waiting for this part because whenever I give a presentation or we do a career fair, all students come up to us and ask, "What's the campus life like?" Right? We have to spend 4 years inside that campus. So basically, this is a 75 acres of campus, a fully residential one, as I told you. So there are men's and women's residence halls. These are all fully air conditioned. Every university, I think, has a big campus, huge campus. You have every sport right there. But what sets Ashoka apart is we have clubs and societies at the campus. When I say clubs and societies, there are 55 plus clubs and societies, wherein these are all student formed and student operated clubs and societies. So you
Okay.
yourself as a student can also start a club or society. There's right from a baking club to a dance club to a drama club. Everything is right there. There's a cycling club. Some students are interested into shooting. There's a shooting range at the university. So
Okay.
very lively, 75 acres of campus. Everything is right there, right from a tuck shop, stationery shop, to a subway, to a blue tokai coffee store. Everything is on the campus. You won't feel anything. You will not have any FOMO of missing out anything. There are parties that keep happening on the campus. So every Thursday is kind of a party night for students, wherein they organize things on their own. Every day there's some or the other event being organized. We have Ashoka weekends, wherein on the weekends there are students. So everything is done by the students. There's no faculty which is involved in say anything. So basically, students come to the campus. The second, third year students keep organizing a lot of stuff for the first year students. So the campus is very lively. We are 60 kilometers from Delhi, so there's a shuttle service that goes in and out every 15 minutes to the nearest metro station, which is Jangirpuri metro station. So you can probably, if you want to enjoy Delhi as well, you can go there on the weekends. Yeah. So that's about the Ashoka campus life.
I'm sure, Harshada, after this response now, students would be paying much more attention to all our questions and your responses per se.
Right, right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so also help us understand how a particular class is structured, what is the class size, what is the student to teacher ratio, and all those important aspects which should be factored in while deciding a university or a college.
Right. So basically, when I talk about Ashoka, there's one thing which is there's no defined class size. The reason for that is there are 250 plus course combinations which can be formed out of the majors, minors, co-curriculars that we have. So it's
Yes,
very
yes.
rare that two students have the same kind of course defined. But
Okay.
then for the majors, there are very popular majors like eco and finance is a very popular major with us.
Yes.
There's computer science, which is a very popular major with us. And when I talk about psychology, is a very popular major with us. So for this, the class sizes are huge. Otherwise, you will see a student to teacher ratio of 11 is to 1. 11 students, one teacher is what the student teacher ratio looks like. Also, the classes are as per. So basically, when I say we are a liberal education university, now you have one more different pointer, which is that there are four professors teaching, say, economics at Ashoka.
Mhm.
Student has the liberty to select which professor I want to study at.
Wow. Okay.
You can attend all the four professors' classes, and then probably I, as a student, can take up an option that I want to study economics under this professor. So the
Mhm.
class timings are also defined as per what professor you pick like and also as per what subjects you pick like.
Okay.
Also the academic rigor is very high at Ashoka. So basically there are somewhere around 12,000 students who apply each year. We have a batch intake of 800 to 900 students, which we might increase to say 50 to 100 students each year is what we do like. So very difficult that you'll find you and your friend having the same class timings. Very different that you'll find anyone from your entire 10-12 students group to have the same subjects also. So 250 plus combination. So the permutation combination is so high
Mhm.
because of that. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Since you mentioned around like faculties and professors, give the visibility to our audience here in terms of the credentials of the faculty. Where do they come from? What kind of experience they have? I'm pretty sure it would be pretty nice, but it would be helpful for parents and students to get some inputs into that as well.
So basically, I'll tell you one more thing, which I think I missed out in the introduction. So Ashoka is one of the largest collective philanthropic university in India. We are a philanthropic university. When I say this, there are 200 plus founders and donors who have come together to form Ashoka. So say if you have heard about Flipkart, the founder of Flipkart is a founder of Ashoka. If you have heard about, say, Make My Trip, a founder of Make My Trip is a founder of Ashoka. If you have heard about Naukri.com, the founder of Naukri.com is a founder of Ashoka. So when I say this, a lot of guest lectures keep happening by the founders itself because
Nice.
now they are founders of Ashoka as well. Also,
Mhm.
when I talk about the faculty, we have the faculty housing also at the campus. And there are few faculties that stay at the campus, and then there are few people who keep coming in as per their schedules, visiting faculties that we would say.
Okay.
Anyone cannot be a faculty at Ashoka if they are not a PhD holders. And when I say this, we have the best faculty in the country. I would suggest there's a webinar happening, I think, just 2 to 3 days after this. I'll share the details with you. You can
I
float
can send.
amongst the. Yeah, yeah. So there's a faculty of computer science, Mr. Debayan Gupta, who is taking a webinar on a very interesting topic as to how does the QR code works. So these are webinars open for any student to join in to understand the concept. Also, there are Ashoka students who will join in together. So we have the best in class faculty, not just from India, but from across the world. There are people who have taught at Harvard and then they are in campus staying faculty at Ashoka University. So that is the kind of faculty, that is the kind of sessions that keep happening in the founders come to Ashoka, or maybe they do online sessions with students. Their marketing teams do sessions with students. So, because we have a large database of founders to cover, so you get a lot of insights of the real corporate world, what's happening inside it as well. Yeah,
Excellent. And I think which is what is needed because unless and until they have an application based learning and practical insights from people who have
exactly.
kind of walked that journey, it's something which would lead them unprepared, right? So, to prepare them well, I think these factors should be really, really considered by the student who is making the choice for the university and definitely parents as well. Okay,
Absolutely.
Harshita, the other question which comes to my mind is like because you mentioned that it is a flexible curriculum, right? And student can design their own curriculum. But what would you advise that how a student can structure their curriculum or kind of design their 4 years in a way that they get the maximum benefit out of their undergraduate journey?
So basically, the Ashoka undergraduate program is a 4 year program, and the student has the option to drop off after the third year as well. Because as per the NEP policy 2020, it is not mandatory to do the fourth year for non-tech courses. But then we highly recommend students to do the fourth year with us because we offer research as a piece in the fourth year. So the fourth year at Ashoka, it is the DNA of Ashoka. We offer research. No other
Okay.
university offers research at an undergraduation level. Everyone offers research, say, at a PhD level. So
Okay.
fourth year at Ashoka is totally dedicated to research. The first 3 years, so as you told me that how does a student designs their curriculum, just to answer that question, so the first year, first 3 semesters, first 3 years is 6 semesters. First 3 semester is an exploration phase, as I told you. So the student has the liberty to go sit in various classes and understand what might be the subject they might be interested into. But then a lot of subjects are such that the students need help from the faculty as well. There are
Mm.
because with options comes confusion as well.
Yeah.
So if I
Yeah.
have
True.
a lot of options on my plate, then I'm confused as to what to eat, and sometimes we overeat as well. So basically, there are teaching assistants, which are faculties teaching assistants who help you select courses. And for the first 3 semesters, you focus on your foundation courses. So the foundation courses are spread across, although in the first 3 years, but the student, meanwhile, they're figuring out as to what has to be done exactly and what exactly is the major and minor they have to pick, they start off with the foundation courses. Also, as I told you, the foundation courses are designed in a way which gives the student a taste and gist of what the majors and minors look like. So they do their foundation courses alongside they do exploration in terms of what their majors and minors could be. At the end of the third semester, they have to roll out a final decision in terms of stating, say, I want to pick a computer science as a major and maybe entrepreneurial leadership as a minor. Alongside entrepreneurial leadership, I'll take up second minor, which will be psychology. So this is
Okay.
just an example. So
Mm-hmm.
after the third semester, you concentratively select your electives and then you focus on that. After the third year, your degree is over. Now the fourth year is a research year for you. So that's how the 4 years at Ashoka are planned for each and every student.
Great. Thank you so much for giving insight into that. I'll move on to my next question. And now this is more around like application per se. So, first, help us understand, Harshita, what are the different components of an undergraduate application? What all students have to really provide to Ashoka when they are applying at Ashoka?
Okay. So our application process is very holistic in nature. When I say this, we understand that grades are just one part of a student's personality, and there are
Mhm.
other things also that a student might have. Just excuse me for a second. Just a second.
Sure, no problem. And in the meantime, I would want to remind our participants here, if you have any questions for Harshita, you can put it in the chat or Q&A box, and I will pick it up for you and I will ask her on your behalf.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. So basically, when I say the application process is very holistic in nature, we take into account your board marks, but we also take into account a lot of other components. So we take into account two essays, which play a very important role. So the application process is divided into four stages. Stage one is application and assessment. The application form is very lengthy, so it takes you around, say, 15 to 20 days to finish up the Ashoka application because it consists of two essays. One is a 400-word essay and one is a 150-word essay. So there are two prompts. The Ashoka application is extremely free of cost. There's no cost added to it. Any student can go ahead. It's an online application form. Our applications are open also. The first round of application closes on the 27th of November. So basically, there are two essays. One is a personal essay and one is a general prompt which is rolled out to the student. In the application form, you have to finish up the essays. There are basic details which are required, which every university kinds of takes into account your 11th, 12th grades, 10th, 11th, 12th grades. And then after that, we have a section for your non-academic engagements. So basically, through the application form, what we're trying to understand is anything and everything that you have done in life has to be written in that one application form. You're good in a sport, go ahead and write that in the application form. You are good in, say, debates, write that in the application form. You are good in, say, dance, co-curriculars, you have sections to write that. You're good at, say, there are students who have their own home bakeries. They write these kind of things in the application form. So basically, the application form is to understand you as a person. And then after you submit the application form, we have an Ashoka aptitude assessment, which is a mandatory assessment for every student to take up. So, irrespective of if you have attempted for SAT, CUET,
Mm.
you can submit the scores for that as well. But if you are, say, just applying to Ashoka, it's not mandatory for you to give SAT or CUET as an exam. So basically, you'll have to give mandatorily after submission of the application the Ashoka aptitude test, which is a 90 minutes of general aptitude test. The sample paper for last 2 years are uploaded on the website. There's no coaching, mentoring, nothing required for the aptitude test. It's a very basic general aptitude test. Any student who has done their 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th decently can give and pass the aptitude test. Alongside, once you finish the aptitude test, there's a 30-minute of on-spot essay rounds again. So as we were speaking before this call, I told you that there are a lot of students who take help for writing essays. So this is okay, but then there are students who use chat gpt. There are students who kind of take help from their counselors or maybe their parents to write in the application. So while the on-spot essay round, we now have a gist that the above essay that you wrote, the two essays, are actually by you or not.
Yeah.
And then after the application, assessment, and the on-spot essay round. If you're shortlisted, we shortlist you for an interview. Now, in the interview, we don't specifically discuss anything. It's not kind of an interview to scare you, but then whatever you have written in the application form, it's a basic discussion of that. And after the interview, we roll out the admission decision to you. There are various kinds of admission decision, and while students apply to Ashoka right now, they don't have their board marks as well. So they have to submit in their predicted board marks, which can come from the school. And there are certain schools who don't help out with the predicted board marks. Then they can self-predict their board marks as well, basis their pre
Amazing.
and 10th, 11th grade scores. Also, then once you have a confirmed offer from Ashoka, we move to stage four, which is financial aid. As I told you, we are a philanthropic institute, so we provide financial aid and scholarships. Also, the financial aid is designed in such a manner that it is a need-based financial aid. So any student, there's an entire grid to it, which I can also share my screen and tell you, wherein depending on the family income level, you have a grid to define in terms of how much of a fee waiver can a student get. So I think I'll share you across
Yeah, you
because
can present it. I've given you
yeah,
the right.
just
And in the interim, Harshita, there is a question from
yeah,
Sankalp.
sure.
You mentioned November 27th as the deadline. Is that the only one?
No, no. So basically, there are three rounds of application happening. The round one deadline is 27th of November. The round two deadline is 15th of January, and the round three is 25th April 2025. But then we highly recommend students to apply in for round one and round two, because if you apply in early and you have an early decision with yourself, say if you apply in this round, you will have a decision by say December. So then, in case you have an offer, you can focus on your board exams after that. In case you don't have an offer, you still have time to look in for other opportunities. So any university that you apply in, this is the right time to apply, because right now you have time to fill in the application, do all these things, take up your aptitude tests. But then once you are in, say, in the month of January, your pre-boards kind of start, and then students get busy with all their pre-boards, boards happening. So this is the right time to apply. Otherwise, there are three rounds of application. I'll just present my screen and show you as well. First, I'll tell you as to how the entire grid looks like. Is this grid visible?
It's low. Yeah, it's there. We can
Yeah.
see it.
So basically, basis the family income range, there's a fee waiver percentage that you can get. And this is the last column consists of the self-paid amount, which comes down to. So basically, almost 50% of the entire batch each year comes down on financial aid to Ashoka. Because we are a philanthropic institute, we make sure that any student who has made past our par and has been selected, has been given out an offer, shouldn't miss out on this offer just because of any financial constraints. So there's a need-based financial aid to assess that. And also there's just not a percentage that we roll out to you basis the family income grid. There's a negotiation also that the students can write into the financial aid team that this is the financial aid percentage fee waiver that I've got. but I think that I should get this much of a percentage because of these many reasons. Also, we offer scholarship, which is a merit-based scholarship, but that is only for the sciences, not for humanities and commerce students. So, regarding the deadline, as one of the student was asking in for, uh, just a second, I'll So yeah, this is what the Ashoka deadlines look like. The application forms opened up on the 10th of October. The round 1 deadline is 27th November. The round 2 deadline is 15th January. And the round 3 deadline is 25th April. Now the assessment dates are tentative again. So once you submit the application, you have the option to pick your assessment date, time slot, everything. It's just like a visa appointment. So within a week, you'll have to give the Ashoka aptitude test and also the on-spot round once you submit the application. So you can plan your dates and submissions accordingly. Yeah.
Okay. And on scholarship, Harshita, like you mentioned, it's merit based, right? But what's the band? How much scholarship can an
Yeah.
academically bright student get?
So basically, the merit cum means scholarship is for the sciences, wherein
Mm-hmm.
this scholarship is the percentage that you were asking. We offer 100% scholarship, which is on the tuition fee and on the residence fee. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Okay.
Also, the financial aid is to few students, 100% on the residence and tuition fees. So there are students who are getting this education entirely funded by Ashoka. So basically, if you total up the fees for 4 year for a 4 year program, this comes down to approximately 45 to 50 lakhs. But there are
Mm.
students, which includes the residence and the tuition fee both. There are
Yeah.
students who are doing this entire education in just say 1 or 2 lakhs. So that is how much of a fee waiver that we provide because we are not a money making institute. We are a philanthropic institute. So that is the reason we almost 50% of the batch we take is on financial aid.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. And you also touched upon the fees itself, like, and it's in terms of payment, it's broken down into like multiple years,
Yeah,
right?
multiple parts.
Okay, okay. Fine. I think that was a very important question to be asked, right? Because this is the time of the year, as you rightly said, Harshita, that 12th graders should start looking into filing the applications, be it Ashoka or any other university
Right.
per se. Yeah. Okay, now let's move on to once the application is submitted, and thank you for touching upon all the components. It would also be helpful for students to understand that how is the admission team really evaluating their entire application and what kind of, because you mentioned it's a holistic admission process, what kind of personality and what kind of traits you are looking for a future student at Ashoka.
So basically, we take a holistic approach to the admissions wherein we consider your academic record, but we also look at your essays. Now, through the essays, a lot of students think that writing fancy vocabulary will help. But then, through the essays, what we are trying to understand is how much different and unique you are as a person, how uniquely you think to a given problem, how differently you think to a given problem or given solution to you. Also, we look at your extracurriculars. When I say essays, there are no algorithms who reads the essays. There are actual human beings in the admission team who read each and every word that you have written in the application. So because they have to interview basis your application. So they'll go through your entire application, understand that what exactly have you written right there. Also, we
Mhm.
look at all the extracurriculars, all the personality qualities that a student has, how strong their profile is, how many different things they have been into, because this entire program is designed in a way. So, via this application process, we are trying to understand that are you ready enough for this academic rigor at Ashoka? You prepared mentally and physically to be there, to take all the academic rigor because the academics is huge at Ashoka. So we are looking for students who show the potential not just in academics, but also in their passion, curiosity, and engagement with the world around them.
Understood. Great. So now we'll move into the next section. So we have talked about application. We have talked about how is the admission team really looking into it. Now, what happens when the student is in the college? And the most pertinent question which comes around is, okay, we have spent 3 years, 4 years there. What kind of career services, what kind of internship opportunities are provided to the student? And taking it one step further, like what kind of recruiters come at Ashoka to recruit the students?
Yeah. So basically, we have a dedicated career service team that works closely with students to help them navigate their career paths. For internship and job placements to networking opportunities and career counseling, we support every step of the way. Ashoka's strong connection with the industry leader, as you know that we are a philanthropic institute, right? So basically there are 200 brands who are already founders who are associated with us. So their
Mm,
first preference will obviously be Ashoka. Also, if you go through the placement reports that we have on our website, we publish the placement report each year. So there are many students who go in for their post graduation after the undergraduation program. Only the students who apply for the placements, we make sure that 100% of them are placed. Also,
mm,
the internships and everything is what the college makes sure that you are placed at an internship. And if you are applying for, say, placements after the undergraduation program, we take 100% surety of that. Now, coming down to the big thing is the return on investment. Because a
mm,
lot of students come up to us and say that, okay, I am going to spend, say, 30, 40 lakhs for a course. Or maybe if I get financial aid, what is the kind of return of investment that I get? So we have a median salary of 18 lakhs per annum, which is what the last placement report last year states. And the highest one that was offered was 35 lakhs per annum. When I say this was offered to a student who took up English as a major and psychology as a minor. So
okay.
we kind of underdog these kind of subjects a lot because English is a subject at school level that any student won't be excited about, right? Because it's just ki English ka exam hai, we'll study one day before and then we'll pass off. But
Mm,
then people are actually making career in literature. So if you go through the placements report, you'll find that. Also, we do summer and semester abroad programs, which is the highlight of the Ashoka 4-year program. So basically, for the summer and semester abroad program, there are students who are sent in for one semester to an abroad university.
mm,
Now, these are experiences which are life-changing experiences in a student's life. You get
true.
to know what their curriculum looks like because their and our curriculum, any international university and Ashoka's curriculum is pretty similar. They offer liberal education, we offer liberal education. But when you study with a diversity of students, you get to know and learn a lot from their experiences as well. So we have
Mm,
summer
true.
and semester abroad program, which is an important piece at Ashoka.
Great, great. Thank you so much for that. And I have few more questions related to your responses, but I will first take a question which is a very specific question related to the facilities at Ashoka, which is from just the initials is what I can see, DS. He or she is asking if the student has dietary restrictions, like they eat Jain food, would that be catered to in the campus? That's what
Ah,
his
yeah.
question is.
Yes, so absolutely, we cater to each and every food requirement, each and every nitty-gritties of every student coming into Ashoka. So we offer Jain food. There are few students who are vegan. We do vegan food as well. We do specific menus for each and every student. Also around specific festivals, we do specific menus around the festival and the festivities. So any food preferences while you get into Ashoka, There's this office of accommodation, which takes care of all your nitty-gritties. There is an entire form which you can write all your details in, and they'll get in touch with you to make sure that you have a comfortable stay at Ashoka then. In case of your food requirements, in case there are students with special conditions in terms of their health requirements as well. So we cater to that as
Great. Thank you. I hope it helps, DS. If you have any further questions, maybe, yeah, you can put it in the chat as such. And there is another question as well, Harshita, from Tanya, which is that what are the job roles? Like if a computer engineer does computer science, he joins as an engineer. But what happens in this case?
So basically, now job role depends on what kind of a course curriculum you have opted in for. But specifically, say you are interested into computer science, but there are usually programming roles. There are roles in terms of designing a product per se. But then there are many computer science students who want to start something on their own. They want to have a startup, but then I don't have the capability of having a management role alongside. So you can then opt in for an option of computer science along with entrepreneur leadership, which gives you kind of a 360 degree, kind of prepares you 360-degree in terms of starting up your own business. Per se role depends on what kind of a major and minor you want to take up. Also, what kind of a, in case you have a specific profile, we can get in touch 101 and then probably have a discussion in terms of what profile you're looking out for. I will be able to better suggest role, because this I think is a half cooked question that ways.
Okay, so yeah, maybe Tanya, you can get in touch with Harshita directly. Maybe
I'll
Harshita,
just
you can just leave your coordinates and I will also circulate that over an
right.
email as well. Okay.
Okay.
Now you mentioned about like students pursuing their further education after doing their undergrad or sitting for placement. So on a ballpark basis, what percentage of students really go ahead and pursue their masters vis-a-vis sitting for placements?
Look, this data keeps changing each year because we see a lot of pattern happening around this.
Okay.
Because there are good placements, so a lot of students kind of then sit for placements and then they say, ki, I'll do my post graduation after, say, 2 years. So that is
Okay.
also a case that happens. But then around 30-40% students sit in for placement, and the rest 60% is a bigger chunk which goes down for their post graduation courses, because
Is
I
it?
think in a
Sorry,
flow
go.
they can do their undergrad and postgrad, but depends on your personal choices as well.
Yeah, I think that's how it is because Ashoka is giving that level of flexibility and an option to become more self-aware in terms of
Right.
your liking and choices. And if you want to take like specialization, super specialization, then it can lead to that pathway. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. I know we are drawing closer towards 12:30. We have just few minutes left. So I'll ask one last question from my side, or maybe second last if time permits. Can you let us know what are the common mistakes, Harshita, which the admission team has seen from the applicants when they are submitting their applications to Ashoka?
Okay. So basically, if I speak about commonly done mistakes in the application form, there are no mistakes as such, because every column has a help box right to the rightmost side. So if you click on the question mark right there, it's very briefly stated that what has to be filled in this column. So there are help boxes in each and every section on
Okay.
the Ashoka application. The common mistakes that students do is that they overdo their application sometimes. They kind of, we want to understand you as a student. We want to understand what your personality exactly has. A lot of students write things in the application which they have never done, or maybe they just want to portray them as a specific,
Okay.
say, as per the Ashoka, because they meet a lot of students and they say that I got admitted into Ashoka because I was good at this thing. But then that specific student might be good at that thing and might be passionate about that as well. So don't overdo your application. The entire idea is be very candid while you are writing the application. The idea is to be candid, to be you yourself. We take students because a lot of students who are at Ashoka, not everyone will be very holistic in nature. There are few students who haven't been into much of a co-curricular activity or they don't have any different edge to them, but they're good with academics.
Mhm.
Or there might be a student who is good with academic, not good with academics, but good with any other thing. So we just want to understand you as a person. And there are no common mistakes because there are help boxes. Also, once you start the application, there's someone from our team who gets in touch with you. So there's a personal basis call which happens once you start the application. So any help before submitting the application you need, they're always available over a call or maybe WhatsApp. So there's one POC for every application that we start.
Yes.
So you can get in touch with them and they'll help you out to not make mistakes in the application.
Great. Thank you so much for that tip as well as advice, Harshita. I have received one more question from Swaraj. I feel like you have covered it a bit in the last 1 hour, but I'll still pose that question if you have something more to add to it. What are the advantages of liberal education than a normal university of science?
Okay. So basically, when you look at, say, IITs or you look at good science institutes, they offer a very traditional kind of a course wherein there are the course is designed in a way, say, a BTech course is designed in a way that you can have these many subjects, these many years, these many foundation courses. So you don't have the liberty to kind of design your own course, is the first thing that they do. Also, they are big on tech, right? So you will learn all good things about tech, but you won't have a 360 view of it or a 360 view of life in real, is what I'm telling you. So liberal education kinds of gives you, as I was talking about foundation courses, that gives you an idea as to how the actual world operates. Anyone say I am a marketing individual, I have great knowledge of marketing, but then other small detailing of each and everything I might lack sometimes because I have done a traditional degree. When you go for a liberal education college, you kind of are rounded in a way and you see your peers. You have such a diversity at a university that you are doing computer science along with entrepreneurial leadership, your friend is doing computer science with psychology, you talk on a daily basis, you get to know their concepts, they get to know your concepts. So basically, when you get into a liberal education college, you are more open in a manner rather than studying into that whole funnel of just getting to understand tech better. Along with tech, you have additional advantages of learning a lot of other things which you might have an interest in, but you haven't figured out as of now. But while there's so I have actually counseled and seen students who have been there at Ashoka. They have done say compute. They have came in for computer science and they have ended doing psychology as a major. So we have that kind of a diversity for students as well.
Great. Thank you so much for that. And I hope, Swaraj, that helps. If I have to add something from my side, though Harshita, you covered all the points there. I wish if during our time, if we could have such a liberal education in India, it would be a different, I would say, like career navigation for us, right? So I have worked for almost 15 years in corporate. Definitely we build core technical skills and we learn lot of skills on the job, right? If you recall what I was just showing on the slide as well in the initial part of our presentation. So technical skills, you are living in an era where you will have to be a lifelong learner. You have to upskill yourself always when it comes to the core technical skills, right? So whatever you are studying in your 4 year undergraduate science degree is not sufficient enough for the next 10-15 years. You will have to continuously upskill yourself. But how you can make yourself a well-rounded individual is something which liberal education can really do for a student. With that, I know we overshooted by 5 minutes. So thank you so much for staying on, everyone, and asking all these questions. And thank you so much, Harshita, for giving your time on Sunday morning. I know it was your off day, but I feel like with all your answers, all the students would have got great insights. So thank you so much for giving your time today.
Thank you so much for hosting this for us, and thank you so much for having us.
Have a good one, all of you. Bye bye.
Thank you.